Hello YouTube, just away with another Metal Cardbot review. And today I took a look at Steel Hook from Metal Cardbot. So this figure, of course, when you get out of the box, you got Steel Hook himself here, or Black Hook, if you want to go with his Korean name, and his Metal Card weapon, the Captain Cannon. So, without further ado, we're going to take a look at Steel Hook first. So let's take a look at Steel Hook in its vehicle mode. As you can see, he is designed after a pirate galleon. So, and of course, this one has sort of a shark theme going on too. Of course, we got the eyes here, which he has those are shark eyes. Now, what's neat about this is that this one we got a normal looking eye, but if you look on the other side, it's got a scar running through it. So, which is again nice little attention to detail. So, yeah. So, of course, we got the bowsprit right here, which doesn't do anything, but it does become a weapon later. So, we'll get into that later. So it's got navy blue, got some gold paint here on some parts here, got some gold colored plastic here, and some red here. So, and of course we got the sail here. Of course we got the stars up here, and got the shark logo there, which basically because he's a leader of the space pirates in Metal Cardbot, specifically the first season. So pretty neat. Of course we got the back section of it. Now the one minor thing. One complaint that everyone has is that Steel Hook's head is visible, but unfortunately you can't fold them. You can't like collapse it in any way, shape, or form. So basically you have to leave it like this. So we're just rather unfortunate. So yeah. We got some anchors on the side here. Of course you can see got some visible fists right there. So yeah. Of course here's the undercarriage. There. You got the back here. Of course you got the rudder on the bottom there. So now this guy does not have wheels, so if you want to like make him just scrape along the hill, which I recommend don't do that. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for Steel Hook in his vehicle mode. So let's go right into transforming this guy into its robot mode. All right, let's transform this guy into its robot mode. So to start off, what we're gonna do is collapse the sail like that. So that's on. And we come to the front here and crack the bow open. And pull this out and put that to the side. And then we're going to come to the back here and flip out what you could do. Those will become the arms. And you're going to crack this part here and fold this up out of the way for the time being. And I'm going to fold what will become the legs. And you go and flip the front up like this. And you flip out the heels. And we'll go and split them in half like this. So just like that. And now I'm going to bring this camera up. You're going to fold this up here, and you want to make sure that this looks like a missile pods or a mortar, you could say. Make sure this is pointing all the way up to the sky like this, and fold it back like that. So then come to the front. I'm going to come to the arms here. So fold this down, twist it like this, fold this up, and flip up the fist. That. Do the same on the other side. So hold the arm down, twist it forward, hold this up, fold the fist out. There you go. And then twist the head around like this. And there you have Steel Hook in raw mode. So yeah, pretty cool. I do love the whole pirate captain motif going on, especially with the chest bit. It looks like a long coat that a captain would wear. So again, pretty neat. Of course, we got the nice brooch right there, which I love that. So it's pretty cool. Of course, it looks like a belt buckle. Again, very nice attention to details. So wonderful. And yeah, and of course, here's his head. Of course, now it's actually hard to see, but there's actually if you look, there's a little bit of a triangular shaped divot in there. That's supposed to be a scar. So which again, a very nice attention to detail. Of course, we got the eye patch on the side. And yeah, so pretty cool. Now the one thing I pulled out, which was the bowsprit right here. This could become two ways. This could become a weapon. You can make this into a fish hook, if you so desire, or sickle, if you wish. But really, this becomes an anchor. So split this in half, and there you go. We have the Captain Anchor. So you can go into its hand like that. But we're going to put this in its other hand because we got to take a look at next is his metal card weapon. And here is the metal card weapon, the Captain Cannon. So, it's got some nice CG artwork of Steel Hook. Here's the back. Here's the front. So remove the card, and then you fold this bit down. Which now, if you try to fold this in half, this peg will actually block you from doing this. So make sure you fold this out, and then fold this in half. Fold out the reticule, fold out the sights, and then come to these two bits here and pull this forward, and there you have the Captain Cannon. So, nice little detail, nice metallic bronze detail here. Again, pretty cool. Now let's bring in Steel Hook, and here's the clip that's on there, which this simply plugs onto the shoulder, so like that. And of course, if you want, you can fold this out to make him he's holding it. And of course, you got this reticule here, which makes you can make him look at it, so you can see where he's aiming. So yeah, pretty cool. Again, very cool. So full circle. Yeah. Okay. Now I see some artwork of him holding the cannon in his hand, which unfortunately you cannot do that. So this is pretty much restricted. This is pretty much restricted as a shoulder cannon. So yeah. Now before we get to the size comparison, we're going to talk about the articulation of Steel Hook. All right. Now before I get to the size comparison, let's talk about articulation. So it has on the ball joint, which you can see already. Now the arms, of course, I'll show off one of the arms because the points of articulation are the same as the other arms. So start with this one here. So arm can swing all the way around. They can go out to the side, just not much, unfortunately. Elbow joint, got a swivel here, which, yeah, I don't mind. This one's a little squeaky, but this one's fine. So, but of course there is no wrist swivel here, so because of it's molded. So, and there's the one particular I really wish that, and of course this applies to the Korean release, but there is no waist articulation, which is very, very unfortunate. Now he does have leg joints, so he can swing forward, he can swing back a little bit, and this depends on how you position his backpack. This could swing, actually, if you flip this up, it can swing that far, which is impressive. And of course, he does have a knee joint, so you have very nice ratcheting noise right there, so very, very satisfying to hear. And there is no ankle articulation, so there's no ankle rockers, I should say. So you can get this guy into some poses, but again, it would have been beneficial if this thing had a waist articulation. So, but oh well, this is how it is. All right. Now let's start with the size comparison. All right, so here's a quick little size comparison. Here he's next to Mech Tackle here, and you can see they're almost the same height. So I would say they're pretty much the same height. So there you go. Do a little quick turnaround here. So. Alright, so that is it. That's pretty much it for the size comparison. So yeah, they're pretty much, so basically both Mech Tackle and Steel Hook are almost the same height. Okay, so now like on my Mech Tackle video, I did discuss that he can hold some weapons that are from other metal Cardbot figures. Steel Hook here actually does have open hands. So we can we know he can hold his anchor like this, right? Now he can actually hold Bluster Gale's weapon, which is this one in its gun form, which it holds just fine. And yes, even you can make him hold in his wrench as a wrench, so which that works. Now with Shadow X's kunai weapon here, which again these were the helicopter blades. It can loosely fit in its hand like this, and if you're wondering, no, you cannot make him. You cannot make him, underhanded, like something like how you hold a tonfa weapon. So because it just falls down. So you can actually do that. Now let's bring in Mech Tackle, Shadow X, and Bluster Gale. Now excluding Blue Star because his hands are in a fixed position, which are like this, because the only weapon he can hold is just his own revolver. So that's it. Now, since these three here have have holes in their hands, can they hold the Captain Anchor? So I'll start with Bluster Gale. So Bluster Gale, he can hold it. Aside from the fact that the scoops or the shovel bits are in the way, he can actually hold the Captain Anchor just fine. So that's great. Shadow X, he can hold the Captain Anchor like this, but only goes like this far, like halfway into the fist. So, but he can hold it. Now for Mech Tackle, despite how small the holes are, you can actually hold it. So, it's just pretty tight. It's just a tight fit. So the answer is yes. Excluding Blue Cop, you can actually make these three guys hold the Captain Anchor. So just to answer any of your questions, just to answer anyone in the comments. So there you go. This concludes my review of Steelhook. So overall, if you're a fan of pirate-themed robots, then I recommend picking this guy up. And if you're collecting metal Cardbot figures, then pick this up as well. Now, well, this is a great chance to get the American release and not the Korean release, because despite the fact that this version and the Korean release are both look the same, just with different names. But in terms of price, this guy's going to be cheaper than the one from Korea because, tariffs and whatnot. So, yeah. And of course, like always, like all the metal here, the metal Cardbot figures, I got this guy from a.k.a. So, just like the other metal Cardbots I got. So it's pretty cool. I mean, this is very, very well designed robot mode. I mean, I love it. I mean, I love the ship mode, the robot mode, the metal car weapon, all that fun stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's more proof that this is the American release and not the Korean one. Here you go. The instructions that came with this guy. So there you go. So that concludes. So this is pretty much it for Steelhook. So again, I recommend picking this up if you don't have a chance to get the Korean release and get the American release. Again, it is available on a.k.a. So of course I will put a site down below, so as well. Now, I'm not sure what my next review after this is going to be, so it's either going to be an upgrade kit from DNA Design, or it could be just another metal Cardbot figure will be Heavy Iron, who is going to be the biggest and the most expensive figure of the first wave of Season 1 figures that a.k.a. has released so far. So either the upgrade kit from DNA Design or Heavy Iron from Metal Cardbot. So either one of the two. So thanks for watching. Like what you saw, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon next to it. And to follow my Twitter and like my Facebook pages, links are in the description below, along with the a.k.a. site URL. So I will catch you next time.